Right, great. Okay, so 8:30 a.m. to when?
5
5
p.m.
p.m.
So a whole working day. This is on a Saturday. So tell me, um, what did you go in there expecting, and what did you come out actually getting?
I guess I was expecting more about how to lead conversations in networking. Um, I kind of wanted to hear more of like examples or like actual practicing of um like what a conversation would go like when you're networking, but a lot of it was just like how to um maintain those connections or like these little details that you put into looking like a professional.
Okay, so you were hoping on how to make connections, but it more or less was more focused on how to maintain connections. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, yeah, or just like what to do, but like not actually like the conversation that would happen when you're networking.
So you were looking for instructions on how to talk to people in a professional setting for networking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but instead you were taught what to do?
Yeah, like, oh, you need to go to these kind of events and like make sure to um like introduce yourself and mm, shake the person's hand with your right hand and like that.
I think they're
Okay.
more like very intricate details versus like the overall broad way of like how to actually interact with other people. And I was hoping we would have like role plays to like sort of practice, kind of like Sarah said, like specific examples and situations, but we didn't really get as much of that. It was more just telling us what not to do versus what to do.
So you're telling me that you guys had, wait, what is that? Eight.
But it was mostly guided by our questions, so it's not like it was really part of the plan for that to happen. It was mostly just like what kind of questions we had that she answered, and
Okay.
it ended up being that way.
So you guys are telling me that you guys spent 10 hours on what not to do?
Well, maybe not that exaggerated, but I think
Like what could you guys possibly spend 10 hours on I can't even like focus on a topic in 10 hours about like
I mean
a
it
not.
was, to be honest, very hard to stay awake after lunchtime at that point because
Oh, the food coma.
yeah,
Okay.
the food coma.
All right. Okay. Hillary, what did you go in there wanting to learn and what did you actually come out with instead?
I personally want some refresher, like refresh courses on like the the table manner and how you should act during meals and stuff. So she did go for it and I appreciate it. But there were something that like Sarah and Kylie mentioned about the networking part where like she just mentioned about how you should maintain the connection after the networking event and you should keep their business card and then reach out to them in 24 hours or and then send them thank you notes or whatever, which to me I feel like yes it might work with some occasions, but at the same time it sounded a little bit like it's not applicable to every situation. And at the same time, there was this part where I just like really, which was the part that she talked about using technology well, and I have like the agenda here as she's talking about like using technology well in the 21st century, and she was telling us, oh, don't use Outlook, use Gmail and stuff. And then Sarah and I were like, but we have to use Outlook is what we do for work. And like and it's like you cannot just have like one rule and then apply to all. But like rather for me, I got the table manner part done, but at the same time, the other stuff that I would want to get out from this course was more like more specific example. For example, if you go to happy hour, how many drinks should you take? What drink should you order? And like what dress or how you should dress to seems appropriate. You know, more detail and how you appear yourself kind of specific example. But she did not go through it, and I feel like these are the most like the first impression is really important, and I think like that's how you present your etiquette at the first place, and I hope that she would have covered it, but I don't think we did. And then after the using technology well part, like using Gmail and stuff, we have something called like the cross-cultural sensitivity, and it was like literally like we have all these handout and stuff, and she was just like reading off from the PowerPoint and then going through it like page by page, but I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know so wait, what should we do? So what we should not do? And I feel like everyone was already like a little tired. Yeah. So if there would be like more interactive part or like more practices or role play, it would be great.
Got it. I'm so confused. What did you supposed to spend 10 hours on this? Because it seems like everything I'm hearing from you guys could be covered in probably 1 to 2 hours. Am I
There
wrong?
is a lot of there were
Yeah.
a lot of handouts, and like we went through the whole thing, and yeah, a lot of topics. But we didn't. Yeah, I was hoping more for what Hillary said, like role playing the actual like situation.
Hmm. How many people were in the class besides you three and her and Rose, I think?
There was three other people who were not from MAG who were with us.
Okay, so there's total of 7 girls or 7 girls because I think that was a women's session. So
Well, including Rose would be 7.
okay, yeah, 7. Okay. So did they, since this is a women's etiquette training, did she teach you specific etiquette that's, for lack of a better word, gender specific to women?
Well, I mean, supposedly it's supposed to be specific to only Asian American women, not just women in general, is
So
what she said on her.
she taught you etiquette that's specific to Asian American women?
No, that's not what I mean. She mentioned that like the class is specifically only for Asian American women, like not just any woman. Like she wanted it to be more exclusive.
Okay.
But I mean, most of the stuff was very just general etiquette, like not really specific to women or Asian American women. And I think what Hillary was saying, I think I agree. It was like very broad. She gave us a lot of handouts, and we weren't really able to go in depth. So she kind of just went over and did like an overview of everything, but we didn't really get to truly go in depth into each of the topics, despite it taking so long.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Let me ask you this question. If you guys could go after doing that 10 hours, I can't imagine 10 hours. But okay. If you guys could redesign an etiquette course for, say, the next class of 2024 in your own vision, and you guys are running it, how would you guys, like, what would you guys teach, and how long would it be, and what kind of engagements would you program in there?
I think the dining etiquette was interesting, but I don't know if that would be like, I guess that would be useful for MAG people, I guess. I think that was like probably the most fun part, because for me at least.
Designing?
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I like the
I
dining part.
never learned that, and I wanted to like try all the foods that they gave us. So
Mhm.
Was it all about like the cutlery from outside to in?
yeah, the different
Yeah.
cutlery and
Yeah.
like
Bread,
different,
how to butter, all that stuff. Okay.
yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I can see that being practical. Good. So
Yeah, it was pretty
besides that,
practical.
okay, let's say that that's part of your curriculum. What else would you guys teach that is relevant to today's up and coming young women professionals?
I think how she
Mm,
mentioned about like having your name tag on your right, and then yeah, and then like doing a firm handshake and all that. I remember we had like an hour with her during our MAC training,
Yeah.
which that was interactive, right? Like she shook hand with each of us, and then we introduced ourselves and all that. So that kind of like interaction was pretty fun, and it's like also putting it in practice. So, but I don't think that we should have spent like a few hours on it.
That's
Like
it,
this
that's
could
what-
be in like 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah, I think.
Go
Oh,
on.
sorry.
No, go on. Go
Oh
on.
yeah. I think generally it should have been a little bit more interactive, but instead it was mostly just listening to her talk about it and like asking her questions, which made it really hard to remember everything, especially given that it was in such a big time frame. I don't remember most of the details that she told us unless I were to actually go through and read every single packet which she gave us, which she gave us a lot of.
Yeah, and it's like the handout are really like wordy. I don't know if you can see any of it, sorry. But it's just like a lot of words, and like she just like like she goes from point to point, but then I don't even have the time to go through it, and it's like hard to follow where she like the
Wait,
content.
was she like literally reading it word for word?
No, word for word, but it's like point to point. But at the same, like sometimes she would add some anecdote and then some stories about her dating life,
Oh,
which
okay.
was entertaining to hear. But yeah,
All right,
interesting.
all right, great. Okay, so the dining part is good. More engagement through role-playing interactivity. What else would you guys add? I remember hearing Sarah saying how to initiate and how to engage with a networking session, right?
Yeah, because I think I asked her the question, but she kind of just said, "Oh, you need to put yourself out there." But I was just worried about situations like, "Oh, what if this person who is like a higher position in a company, they probably get people who want something from them all the time. So like how do you not come off as, you know,
His ass?
I know, yeah, kissing their ass and like being a likable person, not just saying like, "Hey, can you get me a job?" Because I'm sure they're tired of that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hearing what you guys would like is this seems like it was a waste opportunity. We should have used something like this to teach you guys how to navigate the judges' reception.
Yeah.
Like how
Yes.
to
The judge's
like
reception.
how
I
to
was,
like how to navigate
yeah.
a room when you have everyone vying for attention for some people in a position, right? Like how to
Yeah,
navigate that.
I remember asking a couple of questions of like specific situations that I had experienced at the judge's reception of like, how to insert yourself into a certain conversation
Yeah.
when there's already people talking to that
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
and how to not make it awkward or how to not seem
And
too aggressive by the
that's
same time.
that's a great question. What did she say?
I don't remember. She didn't really directly answer the question, is what I is.
Let me
Do
think.
you guys remember? Did she? I don't. Did she ever answer
I
that?
think she said like you either like if they're
Oh,
not paying attention to you, you just excuse yourself and say, "Excuse me, I will come back later." And then like when they're kind of
but
not like
yeah.
so passionately talking with each other, then you like try to insert yourself back in. But I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that works.
That doesn't really work
every
because if they're not paying attention to you in the first place, then it just
You know,
seems
why would you
kind of
excuse yourself
awkward.
and give a
It's
shit?
like I'm just gonna excuse myself. Like, well, you weren't in the circle to
Yeah.
begin with, so you can continue.
You don't have to
excusing
excuse yourself.
Yeah, you can excuse
Yeah.
yourself until you're happy with it.
You can excuse yourself in the whole judge's reception too.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like you haven't said a single word and then you just like interrupt their conversation like I'm gonna go get some ice cream and it's like what
You're like, I'm sorry, who is that?
who are you?
Okay, yeah, if it wasn't awkward before, you just made it awkward now. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right. Well, fuck. Maybe I can teach you guys that. I feel like I feel like those are some really basic skills on how to navigate. If you go to a party and you're literally the only one there and everyone kind of has cliques and you don't, and you're the only one there, here's my advice. First of all, get something to drink. For me, it would be soda because I don't drink alcohol. So it's a Coke or soda and some food, and just kind of look around and see um what's going on, and then with your food and your soda, just walk around and listen to what each little group is kind of like off to the side, not like insert yourself and listen, but just kind of like walk by and just listen to the topic. And if there's something that is interesting that you can contribute to or want to engage with, then insert. If not, then just walk on by. And if there's something that is um connects with you, like if Hillary, if someone's talking about fintech or financial patterns, or how um, certain funding options are just more difficult for women of color, then that's a perfect time for you to go kind of insert yourself and say, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Can I just add that I've experienced that as well? That is something that I've gone through, and I'm sorry, my name is Hillary. I just didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm just very passionate about that particular topic. And that's something that I literally am trying to figure out. Can you tell me what you would do? But because this is my situation right now. May I ask your advice on this?" And that way you integrate yourself into something they're already talking about.
Mhm.
Right? If there's something about dance, then Kylie, you go like, "Oh my God, do you guys dance? What school did you go to? Um, what kind of dance did you do? Have you guys ever worked in this particular group called Dare to Dance or something that I'm very passionate about, or Boys and Girls Club, something like that?" So anything that has connection with what you know, what you're doing, what you are interested in, like if there is something about women in tech or engineering, women in coding, Sarah, that's something you can insert yourself into, or future actresses, right? So those type of things, go around and listen to what people are talking about and see what of the conversations connect with you. And then right when you have a pause, ask your question like, "I'm sorry to interrupt. This is some or interject. This is something I'm actually very, very much struggling with right now because of XYZ. Can I ask, how would you handle this situation?" And just present your thing. And if they're cool and fun and nice, they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, me too." Da, da, da. But if they're just like being dicks or bitches about it, like, "Oh, da 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 da," then you'll get the vibe. You're like, "Okay, cool, thank you so much," and then you can excuse yourself and move on to someone else.
Mm. So, what if there's like someone that they're talking to and they're just like a more, I don't want to say aggressive, but they're just like a more passionate speaker than you. So like they tend to talk over you or something.
Okay, so is this a conversation you're already in, or
Yeah, say you're having a conversation with someone that like everyone wants to talk to, and then someone just like comes in and they interrupt your conversation and take control.
yeah. I've had that happen too. So, give a few minutes, and if they're like just super dominating, then just be like, "I have to go and talk to her," and just say, "I'm so sorry to interrupt." They're like, "Just interrupt again, right? I need to go and talk with someone else over there, but can I get your contact information so that I can follow up with you on the conversation later on?" And then, it's like, "Is texting okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, texting is fine. Like, can I have your number? I'm gonna call you right now, so I have my number, and I'll text you and set up a time we can talk afterwards. But I don't want to interrupt this great conversation you guys are having."
Okay.
Is this not the stuff she taught you guys?
I think she mentioned that.
No. I
That,
mean, she mentioned more very vaguely. She
Like, what?
didn't give us like a exact example, like kind of how you just did, like where you played out the actual interaction. She kind of just went like, "Oh, just say, oh well, excuse me, I'm gonna go get a drink, and I'll, come back to you later." And it's kind of awkward.
You can try to come back later, but that moment might be gone, or that person might be gone altogether. I would say at that moment, take the opportunity to get their contact information and follow up with them. That way you can have a very exclusive one-on-one without having to, compete with everyone else in that room,
Mhm.
right? So that's how I would do it. I was like, "I'm sorry, can I get your contact information, and may I follow up with you later on? I would love to continue this conversation, but I don't want to take up any anyone else's time because you're so popular right here, sir, or ma'am, or whatever. And they're like, yeah, sure, you can, here's my card, or here, yeah, you can text me, here's my number, or here, here's my, and you can say, can I text you, or is email okay? Usually email is fine. But sometimes you get lucky and they'll give you a text number, and that's even awesome. So that's what I would do. When people are like, really upfront in there, but and I really want to talk to that person, I will give myself an avenue to follow up where I can have a one-on-one with them myself. Give me more scenarios. I have a hard stop at 7:10 because I'm working with your pageant sister Sky on her UC Berkeley applications.
Oh my gosh.
Can apply for her
Yay.
master's program.
Wait, UC Berkeley?
Yeah, she wants to apply to UC Berkeley for a master's in education.
Oh my god.
I'm all like, well, you better get
Lovely.
your ass out here so that some of your sisters can spend more time with you.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so
Lovely.
I'd help her with the application in about 10 minutes. But okay, ask more questions. Let me try to fill in the gaps here. But you guys didn't answer my question altogether. If you guys are creating an etiquette class for 2024, I got dining etiquette, I got engagement role play, I got trying to set up actual network techniques. What else?
I don't know if Kylie and Sarah, if you guys would agree, but I feel like if she could go more into specific of like how you should dress, or like about like, oh, what drinks you should order at happy hour. I don't know, like, sorry, I know like you're underage, but at the same time, it's like for me, I always like, I don't know what to order, so I always get like, oh, Chardonnay, and sometimes I feel like I overdress or I underdress. So if she could go more into specific on like your appearances at like networking events, and also what Francis just covered about how to act in certain situations, and also what Sarah also talked about, like starting a conversation, and also more specifically maybe like what to talk about or how you should initiate a conversation, like the
Yeah, I
first
think
impression, all that.
initiating a conversation is something that I wanted to learn too that I didn't
Okay,
really.
so it all comes down to if you go to networking, Rose is sending me to an event, which I have no idea. She says, "Oh, this is a Filipino organization. We need to build more bridges. Go." Literally, that's all the instructions I got from her. I have no who I don't know anyone there. I hope there's food. That's all I care about right now. There better be fucking there. But I want to go in there, and I guess I'm just gonna make my rounds. But I've obviously the person I definitely want to go and say hi to is the head of the organization and engage with him a little bit. But figure out if you're gonna go to an event, figure out what you want to do there. Are you just gonna go there to explore and just kind of see what it's all about, which is totally fine. I've seen people do that and they come out with like great ideas. Or do you have a specific person or a company or organization you want to get connected with? So you know what your objective is. Is it open or is it strategically focused? Right. So let's say there's somebody there that you want to talk to, and hopefully you find him or her, and you find them. And if there's a huge line of people, that is fine. You wait in line, or you kind of like gather around a crowd. And when it finally comes time for your turn to speak, even if someone's dominating, chances are if that one person is dominating, everyone in there also know that person dominating. Use your gut and be like, okay, I'm just gonna break in that break point right here. Like the person asked a question and the person about to ask a question. I'm sorry, I just need to ask. That's such a great point. I wanted to follow up on that real quick here and then just ask that question of like, so like know what you want. If your whole objective is to meet the head of Pfizer, product development because you want to have an internship at Pfizer and they're a recruiting event and that person's there and a whole bunch of other people also want jobs there, then have your have your little preparation, like have a business card. That's always important to have, and have that ready in your hand and go there. And when it's finally your little break, your little chance to break through there, like to say, thank you. That's such powerful information for us applicants to learn. I really appreciate that. I have a quick question I want to ask you. on how we would best prepare for our interviews, coming up with these type of associates coming with. And before I forget, can I give you my business card so that we can follow up with each other? Do you happen to have a contact information that I could also reconnect with you on later on before he even or she even answers? Have your business card so you could give it to them so you show that you're prepared. If they are nice and good, they'll usually have a business card themselves. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of business cards right now. But you can talk to my assistant and you have your extra business card that you happen to have, and you're like, okay, great, and your pen is in hand. What's the best way to get over? Is it an email or a phone number I call? Her email is Charlotte h@Pfizer.com. That's where you can get a hold of her. You can, and then you look around, you see everyone else also copying that same information down because you were brave enough to ask for it. Like, great, thank you so much. My name is Kylie. I'll write in a card. But yeah, I'd love to hear the response to the question if you have an answer, and I will follow up with Charlotte here as soon as possible. And then he'll give you an answer. Good. All right, thank you so much. You can choose to still listen and stay there and listen, maybe ask them a question you want to, or excuse yourself if there's someone else you want to talk to. And then make sure you take a little note and said, all right, Sean from Head of Pfizer talked about this with me. And then go to message Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte, I just got your confirmation. I got your information from Sean, Sean Huang of Head of Product at Pfizer. He told me to contact you to set up a time to talk with him. Please let him know. I would love to communicate with him, and please thank him if you're able to on his information on XYZ, whatever you asked, right? To kind of spark his memory of who you are, and also show her that you actually had this conversation with him. And I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you again for your assistance on this topic. I really appreciate it. And that's how you follow up. Now, if you don't get anything out of that, then you tried. You tried everything you could. Chances are no one else is getting anything out of that either, right? But at least you did everything you could on your part to get your follow-up information. So that's how I would go about initiating conversation. Now, if you're lucky and no one's talking to that person, then shit, corner that person and have your card and have a bunch of questions to ask. And you're lucked out. That night you're able to like form a rapport with that person.
Yeah, speaking of cards, I feel like personally, I don't have business card, and I don't mind paying to make one my own, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's just like conflict of interest and all that. I don't know if Kylie, you have a business card as well. It's just, yeah, I don't
You can
have
totally
that.
Yeah, no, you can totally make your own business card. We don't at MAG, we don't care if you make your own business card. And we want you to use the events that if you're talking about MAG events, we want you to use the events that you guys are invited to connect and promote yourself. You don't have to like give them a MAG business card. You can if you really want one, but you can just say, Hillary Lowe, finance expert, whatever the background is, right? You can or brand yourself in your own startup company, consulting company, Hillary Lowe Consulting, whatever you want to call it, right? And then hand that off to them. Business cards are great because it gives you something. I'm not saying that you should use them every occasion. A lot of times I just get the phone number of the person and I call them and like, all right, that's my number. I got your number. I'll follow up. And I just do that way. But it's always nice to have a business card if you need it. And it's good because of two reasons. One, they will have something in their pocket to remind them of you. And two, you have another business card that if you need something to write something on, hopefully you always have a pen with you, then you can write down their information. If they don't have a business card, at least you can write down their stuff. And now you have it on your piece of paper, or you can just type it in your phone as well too. That's fine too. So you can either write it down on an extra business card, or you can type it in your phone. But it's a way to initiate an interaction instead of saying, oh, if you get your phone out with me, then I can start engaging with you. You can just give the card right off the bat without that person having to initiate getting their phone out or anything else like that. All they gotta do is just reach out and take it. That initiates the fact that you're now giving contact information, which also opens the door up more easy for you to ask them for their contact information. Does that make sense?
Normally, don't people like unless you're the person who's like talking to someone who's like higher up there and you're trying to get a job, like you would probably go and like look at all the business cards and like contact them. But if you were to give it to them, they probably wouldn't look at it, right?
Who knows? But at least, well, all that business card does is a way to open the door for you. Because if you give someone, if someone gives me a business card, what I'm gonna say, no, thank you. I'm gonna take it just out of
It
politeness.
could.
If they do that, then you don't even need to follow that person. I'll tell you right now. If you give a business card and they say no, thank you, don't even bother following that person. If they're gonna be that in your face about not wanting to even connect with you, then why would you even follow up?
Then why are they even at the event?
Maybe they are forced there by their company.
Oh, maybe.
Speaking of following up, Syndi, she emphasized a lot on sending thank you notes after, and she was telling us to go on this website to send out e-card to people as a thank you note. So yeah, did Kylie and Sarah, did you guys send her anything after?
Oh my God.
I
Did you?
Wow,
did not.
you didn't pretty much just ask you guys to send her a thank you card right there.
Did you do it, Hillary?
No, I didn't. Did you?
No. I don't think.
I was so tired. I just wanted
think
to nap
she.
after.
I don't know if she was
I don't-
expecting it.
I don't think
Expecting it.
she. I don't think even if she was expecting, I don't think she'd be expecting it on the day of right after. So like
Yeah,
even if you did now, I think it would be fine.
It's been 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's true. It's been
Yeah.
2 weeks. Oh my God, it's been so long.
Well, if you ain't gonna send one now, I don't think she's expecting one anymore at this point.
I thought she was gonna send out another survey, but I don't think
Yeah.
I ever got the email. And she also said she was gonna schedule like one-on-ones with us.
I think she told us to reach out to her and to schedule it with
Oh.
her. And she also like mentioned about this other program, which were like what $700-800, and says like, oh, it's a combination of all the what was that, the 16 personalities and like all the whatever personalities, and then you can get a whole picture of who you are kind of program. But yeah, did you guys get that? I didn't.
No. I think I saved like a photo of the name. It's like Clover or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't get.
He's not doing her follow up.
So here's my advice on that. Yeah, I would say follow up for a I would say follow up. You don't need to send an e-card. I think that's if someone it's okay if I went to an event and a bunch of people like were talking to me and then some people sent me an e-card to thank you. That's kind of extra. I would remember that because I'm like, wow, that's really
Extra.
formal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think something as simple as an email thank you is fine by today's standard.
Yeah.
That's already
I think.
very sweet, right? I think like okay, after I was networking with Kylie, I met her at the launch party. I met Hillary at the at the casino night. I met with Sarah from introduction. But if I met all you guys at an event, if you guys sent me an email saying, "Hey, thank you so much. It was so wonderful talking with you. I want to make sure to keep in touch and I could set another meeting up with you." That's fine. I don't need you to send me a thank you e-card to do that. That's actually, I'm not going to respond back to that, right? If you send me an e-card, say thank you, can I set up another time with you to talk? I'm like, do I respond to you with another thank you card? How do I do this?
I feel like the thank you card is like so extra to the point where it's like it's clear that you're like kissing their ass.
It's a little,
And I don't want to be like that person, so I would rather do an email.
yeah, just do email.
I feel like the
Yeah.
times have changed a little bit where like I don't get cards as often.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait,
It's very old school.
Yeah, you have to kind of think about where she's coming from. So I think what she is teaching us definitely made sense in 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s. But the technology, two things have changed actually. One, the technology is much more ubiquitous now in terms of how people engage, and two, the culture, the generations have changed a lot as well too. I think that the kids who are in the 80s and the 90s are now professionals, and they grew up with the technology and the more instantaneous and casualness that texting, and like in the past, texting would not necessarily be something you do. You could do that in business when you're with a colleague, but usually when you text someone, when you're just introducing yourself to them. But nowadays, that's totally normal. That's completely. I'm meeting more people through texting than I am through email. That's just the way this dynamic works now. So the fact that the fact I even heard what you said, oh, don't use Outlook, use Gmail. That is a very overarching. Sure, that's true, but in a very overarching statement. It really, you should be using whatever you want to use, and definitely what you have to use when it comes to work. I invited Sky since she was waiting for me, so I figured it's like, might as well. Hi, Sky, your sister's
Hey,
right here.
Sky.
Hello.
I'm going over with
Hello.
them. There's everybody. Sarah, except for Sarah, still hiding behind the big old S. That I'm going over with them how their experience was with Syndi's etiquette. I've never been to one of her etiquette trainings, and I'm getting a lot of information about, oh my God, there is some major updates that need to be done in this session.
Honestly, I'm worried about her business if this is like how she programmed her course.
Okay, let me ask you this. What are things that you would tell her to change if she wants to keep her business viable and relevant in today's market?
I feel like
I
she
think
needs to update the
definite-
using technology well in the 21st century part. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think she should probably shorten it a little bit because I think
Okay,
especially
from
everyone here is looking
from-
for something
okay,
quick and easy. I don't think anyone wants to take an entire day out.
like Kylie, from 10
Yeah.
hours, from 10 hours to when or how long? So 10 hours, yeah, it's like 10 hours, guys, from like 8:30 to 6:30, which I would have fallen asleep at probably 1:30 after the food
I
call.
was falling
The
asleep at like
food was so
yeah,
like
1:30.
it was heavy too.
What was it? What did you guys eat?
Yeah,
Like
we had bread and
chicken.
butter,
Mm.
like a
The chicken had like
soup.
cream on it or some
It was like a
soda sauce.
squash soup, I think.
Mm. And then
That
tiramisu.
was like, oh, the tiramisu was good.
That was my favorite part.
Sounds like you guys paid for a very extravagant lunch.
Yeah,
Or hey, you guys were gifted a very extravagant lunch. That's good.
yeah.
That's very good. Okay, so how long would you advise her to shorten it down to?
Wait, so currently it was from 8:30 to 5 p.m. So what is that?
I know.
8.5 hours.
Mm.
8.5 hours. I would say anything you say after lunch is not going to retain.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I was starting to zone out with the cross culture talk.
Oh my God, yeah.
I started doodling in front of Rose and I just cannot I can help myself.
wait, well, I'm sorry, what's the cross-cultural talk then?
Just like
Like,
how
yeah.
to or what customs are in different countries and like what proper things to gift. It was very like stereotypical. He was like, oh, if you go to like India, you don't want to act like this or something or stuff that I don't know if that part was necessarily up to date.
Yeah, like all I remember was like she was showing us charts on the like survey on how people are more conservative in certain area and then like they're more open-minded in other area. Like, okay, we knew this. We know that like China is more conservative and then like we know that America is more open-minded. We knew it. So could you go into specific on like, oh, in China use chopsticks and like, oh, how you should drink water first or whatever. Like, yeah, instead of showing us chart and statistic, I mean, we can look it out, but yeah.
Okay. So going back to you, Kylie,
Mhm.
you're saying that it should just be basically 8:30 and then ends at 1?
Maybe start
I
at
think it
9.
should. I think maybe it should just end after like the lunch part, or maybe like just like if you have to like extend it a little bit past lunch, but not like so extreme to the point where it's like literally dinner time, like next meal time. Like it's already the next meal time, and I'm still sitting there. Are you done?
Yeah, that's good. Shit, you guys could have had breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the time you guys were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They
crazy.
served us like coffee, which was nice, but aside from that, we didn't have any breakfast. We just had the lunch, which was already pretty heavy, and then we didn't have dinner. We went home for that.
Was it just weird that the waiters seemed like so nervous? I don't know. They just kept like
Yeah, he was shaking a little bit. I like
Yeah,
noticed,
nervous?
but
I don't know, he kept
I-
like coming in and then being like, oh, and then like backtracking out and then like would bring something out and his hand would be shaking.
yeah,
Okay.
I maybe it's because he knows it's an etiquette class and he's like conscious about etiquette.
I'm like, am I serving this correctly?
I kind of felt bad for him, but I don't know. It was kind of
Yeah.
cute.
Okay, all right. So keep it shorter. And then focus mainly on the dining was good, so that can be during lunchtime. Focus on more on engagement, on how to initiate networking. It sounds like just also be much more updated on technology and what today's. I feel like
Honestly, I feel like we don't even need the technology part. Like, yeah.
yeah, I feel like you guys could be teaching her technology. But and that sounds like the stuff that she's teaching is the stuff that is probably important for back in the 80s and 90s where people didn't have that much access to the internet and had to ooh, that was a beautiful animal. And they had to and had to kind of like rely on other sources versus nowadays where people can just discover this stuff on their own. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll convey all of this to Rose. Let me ask you this: do you guys think this is worth it for the 2024 class to even go this?
If it's how much would it cost?
It's not cheap. That shit is like fucking expensive.
Wait, so would this be funded by like our registration fees, like from MAG?
Hell no, no. The amount of money it like. Let me double check here.
Are we paying her?
Huh?
Wait,
Are we
we don't have
paying
to pay
her?
her for like what we did, right?
I didn't.
No. So she gifted, two. I think she gifted two positions to Mag, and then I think Mag covered one of you guys just as a way to also bring in some business to her, but also have a little more of a Mag presence there.
That was me.
Okay, so yeah, so one of you guys were gifted, and then the other two of you. So one of you guys are covered by Mag. The other two of you guys were gifted by Syndi. Let me look at the pricing here. It's not cheap.
It was like 500 or 300 to
Yeah,
500.
yeah, I
300. I was like, not
remember.
500.
Yeah, I was looking at. I'm all like, I can think of a lot of other ways to spend $500
Mm.
spend on a nice lunch, and which it sounds like what you guys got out the most was the dining parts, right?
I don't think it would cost that much
Yeah, it
though.
was
No, no,
definitely
no,
not
no,
Food?
no, no.
gourmet.
She's obviously making money off of it, right? So she's probably paying $100 at most for the lunch, and then getting the profit of $600 a person. So obviously the lunching is kind of the sunken cost that she has to sink in there. But she's definitely like making money off of the difference for the entire service of the class. Um, so again, is this worth it for you for the 2024 class? I need to tell Rose whether or not we're gonna still advise whether we still do this with her or not.
So would this be, are you saying this like this is all before pageant week, or you're saying this is only for title holders?
So okay, so she does that thing for okay. You guys remember she came in that day
Mhm.
training for so that was free. She kind of like volunteered.
Mhm.
That's also kind of a way for her to kind of advertise
Mhm.
and promote her class, right?
Mhm.
Then she gives the two seats to Mag every year as a gift, and then Mag usually covers one additional girl there. So my question is, of course, we're happy to have her come in and give a free session, even though I'm not sure if that's even that much relevant now. But should we even still, I don't know, make this part of the process for Meg to even cover the third girl, bring in the third girl?
So you're talking only in terms of title holders, right? Because you're not
Title
talking about like,
title holders.
so
Title.
this is
Yeah.
okay. Mm, well, assuming that you only would really have to pay for one person, and oh,
But did you guys even enjoy it at all?
I
mean,
think
I think
like I
yeah.
did learn stuff that I didn't know before, but I just wish it wasn't like that long, I guess.
so is that a yes that you want to do this? You do this again, or no? You would do this again? I need, I need, I need, I need specifics from you guys. You guys are like beating around the bush, and I need some
They
solid.
sound like they're trying to be nice and they don't want to
I
make
don't
a
want to.
big
I know. I don't
scene.
want nice. Don't be nice around. I want you guys to be strict and very straight with me. You could be nice around everyone else, but I need you guys to be straight with me.
Okay, I feel like it is definitely worth it, but she needs to re-engineer her program. Like, unless she makes some changes, I don't think it's worth it for Mac to pay for another girl next year. But if she could actually like take our opinion and then like try to make some changes and reprogram it a little bit, yeah, I think it will be worth it, in my opinion.
But if she doesn't change and it's exactly the same as it was this year, not worth it. I'm gonna say right out what I think you're trying to say.
Yeah, I would say like if I had to go back in time, I think I could have had like a better use of my time. Like I did learn useful things, but like because it took a whole day, I was kind of like, oh, I had other things I could have been like doing, like,
Sleeping.
us.
Okay.
We could
Okay.
just pay for half day and then leave after lunch.
Okay. What about you, Kylie? Any final feedback for me before I have to compile this for Rose?
I think that like what Hillary said, like the half day thing would be better. Like it doesn't have to be so long, and she can also cut down on the other stuff because most of the stuff is like very basic common sense that we already know.
Is it actual stuff that you guys could use, or is it fluff?
Most of it was very basic stuff that I think we kind of already knew the gist of. Like just being our age, I think she needs to like update a little bit more.
Okay. Take out technology because she probably shouldn't be telling you guys about technology at this point.
Yeah.
More
And then just like the more of like the role play, kind of like more interactive, especially because it's
all right. In the future, I
Yeah.
can work with you guys more on like the stuff that I work with. Do you guys want me to work with you guys more on the stuff I just worked with you on how to initiate, how to follow up, how to engage with
yes.
like potential. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I should be paid $600 a person to be. I'll cook for you guys. That'll be my social luncheon for you guys. Okay. Okay. So any other feedback? Otherwise, I'm gonna jump offline and meet with Sky and start working with her on her Berkeley application so that she'll be a bear with you, Kylie, next year.
Look at my this is my dorm, Scott.
Kylie's like,
But you won't be here though. You won't be here though. You'll have to have an apartment. I'm pretty sure you don't get dorms for a graduate.
But then I'm gonna be extra broke. You know how expensive tuition is for non-residents?
Yeah, it's also graduate, so it's a lot more expensive.
Francis, I'm a
What?
teacher.
well, we're
I'ma
gonna
be
find, we're gonna
so
find
in debt.
scholarships. We're gonna find scholarships and grants for you to apply to. There's tons of money out there. You just have to apply for it.
Oh my
And
god,
plus-
I'm not gonna go there.
And if that application and acceptance comes through, then you and Kylie will Kylie be a sophomore next year, so she'll have the option of either living or moving out. So
Probably moving out.
you got you.
If she's saying it's moving out, it must be that bad.
She
No, because it's very hard to get housing unless I get like I don't know, depends on what I get.
oh Mia is probably gonna move out, so you can probably see she has a place at her place.
There's like new housing that's being built right now. There's
Kylie's
like a lot of new
uh,
places.
about her like wonderful roommate who who's super sensitive with any kind of noise.
Oh, I won't be rooming with them. That was just random for this year.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be great if you guys, if you happen to be there, Sky, then yeah, you guys could potentially be roommates or housemates or apartment mates or whatever.
Oh, then I won't be super broke.
No, you'll have, yeah, you'll have, and you, I think Amy, I'm not sure if Amy will still be there or not, but Kylie does.
Usually junior.
Yeah.
No, wait, is Amy senior?
I can't
I
remember.
think
She's
she's
I think
senior.
she's senior. Yeah.
Oh.
she'll be graduated by then. But you'll have other new mad girls going to birthday like that. But
Oh, Caitlin. Oh no, Caitlin, you said has to be in a dorm. Never
Caitlin's
mind.
still applying right now. We won't find out whether she
But
gets.
Caitlin wants to go to NYU, right?
She's
For
applying to all the
USC.
UCs. She's applying to all the UCs right now.
Mm.
Yeah. So, all right, if you guys anything else from you guys? Right, let me know if you guys want to set up a time and I can go over business etiquette with you guys. Okay?
Free business.
Please do not know why
Thank
I'm
you,
doing
Francis.
this job too. Somehow this is now my another job. So let me know when you guys set, I'm leaving up to the three of you guys and even you, Sky, if you want to join in. You guys, the four of you guys can set up among yourselves. Say, Francis, these are the dates we're all free. If you can pick one of these, then I will set up an entire hour or two and we will go over how to actually initiate, follow up, interject, and create the relationship you need to have with potential employers. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you, Francis.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right.
Thank
I will
you.
see you guys again soon. And Sky, I'll meet you back on Facebook. Okay. All right. Mwah.
Good luck, Sky. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.